So section 4.3, what is slope on a linear function? How can it be used to graph the function? Slope is a really awesome thing to get empowered with. Remember back when we bought that printer for $80 and the ink cartridge was $15 a cartridge? And we wrote the equation 80, which is what we'd pay at the cash register, and then we'd pay $15 for each cartridge, and then we'd multiply by the number of cartridges. If we turn this around, it looks just like the function rule, y equals mx plus b. That 15 over 1 right there is your slope. It is the thing when we graph that line, remember, we started at 80 for our computer, or for our printer, and then every cartridge we bought, it went up 15. So if we bought one cartridge, it was at 95. Bought another one, it was at 110. Okay, so that 15 over 1 is our slope. It's our increase as we go. In the function Munchkin game, if you haven't figured this out yet, we are getting the equation. When I have you holler out numbers, and then I give you numbers, an easy way to find the slope of the equation is to take the difference in this number over the difference in those two numbers, difference of f of x over difference of x, put it in a fraction, reduce it, and that right there is your change from one point to another. That is your slope. Your change in y over your change in x, or you might have heard the words rise over run, that's your slope. And then you always add where you're at the y-intercept, the 0, whatever value that is, that's your b. So, slope in the equation is the m attached to the x. It's that ratio that we're going to multiply your x by. It is rise over run, change in y over x. And then I gave you a few graphs here. I always have students look at a graph and raise the hand on whichever side it goes up. If it's your right hand, one way to remember that is when you raise your right hand in court, you say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And that is a positive movement in our nation, in the world, is that we have court systems based on truth. Okay? Now, on the negative side, raise your left hand. And if you've been in class, I've had you raise your left hand, start snapping your finger and singing Beyonce's song, to the left, everything you own in the box to the left. She was kicking him out of her apartment. That's negative. So if it rises to the left, it's negative. Rises to the right, it's positive. And just sit there and look at a line that you've graphed and raise whichever hand, and then make sure that the m value is negative or positive. Now you might have a graph where it goes constant that way. Your rise would be 0 over whatever number, and 0 over any number equals 0, so that's a 0 slope. Another option would be a straight up and down line. That would be a rise of whatever number over a run of 0, and that's undefined. Okay? So I'm going to graph a few of these for you. The first one, negative 2/3 is the slope. We always start at the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 4. And now I always say, on your slope, always rise and run. Don't ever fall. So even though it's negative, we're going to rise 2. Negative is to the left, so we go to the left 3. Right there is our line for number 1. It rises to the left. The slope was negative, so we know we have it right. Okay, next one. It's a positive 2/3 x plus 6. So we go up to 6, and we say, from the 6 we want to rise 2, run 3 to the right this time because it's positive. And there's the second line. Positive slope, rises to the right, we're in good shape. Now, if we have f of x equals -5. You could also write it as y equals -5. I had a student one time that told me when she sees an equation of a line, if it's just got one letter, she just cuts right through that axis. And that's fine to remember it that way. So this would cut through the y-axis at -5. We call that a constant because no matter what value we put in for x, it stays at a constant -5. Okay, and that's a zero slope. There is no slope on that line. And our last one is x equals 6. So this time, our variable is x, so it's cutting through the x-axis. We come over to 6 and we draw the line. That one has an undefined slope. Okay, so that's our fourth line. Rewind the film, make sure and watch how to do those, and come in with questions. Thank you very much.